Can you get someone over here now to 325 Gretna Green? He's back. Please.
Okay, what does he look like?
He's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here?
Okay, what is he doing there?
He just drove up again.
He just drove
me
up.
over.
Okay, wait a minute, what kind of car is he in?
He's in a white Bronco. First of all, he broke the back door down to get in.
Okay, wait a minute, what's your name?
Nicole Simpson.
Okay, is he the sportscaster or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Wait a minute, we're sending the police. What is he doing? Is he threatening you?
I'm going nuts.
Okay, has he threatened you in any way, or is he just harassing you?
Switch inside Robert John Bardo.
While her stalker seethed in anger, in the summer of 1989, Schaeffer found herself in the running for the role of a lifetime.
I'm gonna make him an offer, Captain.
And that was the role of very early on in The Godfather Part 3. It was the talk of the town.
Rebecca called excited to tell us that she was to be auditioning for Godfather 3.
As Rebecca is getting ready for her meeting with Francis Ford Coppola, she has no idea that her stalker is enraged over a love scene that she had done in a movie.
He decided he was going to go and get a gun. No more teddy bears, no more flowers. This was it.
Bardo, now 19, had hired a private investigator who got Rebecca's home address from the DMV, and it was perfectly legal to do.
Robert John Bardo gets on a Greyhound bus, and he takes it overnight with his bag and a gun, and arrives early in the morning, and makes his way to her place. Two people have it in their mind to get to Rebecca Schaeffer's apartment that day. One is a courier with a script for The Godfather 3. The other is her deranged stalker. One she is expecting, one she is not.
Robert has the card that she sent and her photograph.
He rings the buzzer.
And when she came down and opened the door, it was Robert John Bardo.
Robert Bardo mumbled something about being her biggest fan, showed her the autographed photograph that he had received in the mail. She politely excused herself, told Mr. Bardo that she had to get ready for an interview.
She shakes his hand, wishes him well, and he goes on his way.
But he came back a second time.
Now she has already dealt with him. She has other things to do. And she says to him, and this is his account we have to go with. She says to him, "You're wasting my time."
Mr. Bardo stated, "I forgot to give you something." Withdrew a handgun from his waistband and shot her once in the chest, penetrating her heart.
Right after the murder, Bardo took a bus back to Tucson. The very next day, Tucson police got a call about a man running in traffic on a freeway.
I got there, and he was screaming, "I killed Rebecca Schaeffer."
Robert Bardo was arrested this morning on a Tucson freeway.
We went very quickly and met the detectives and met Marcia Clark, the prosecutor.
I didn't know quite what to say to them. What do you say? Other than I'm going to fight so hard to bring her killer to justice.
2 years after Rebecca Schaeffer's murder, Bardo was found guilty of first-degree murder.
My reaction was relief. The family was relieved too.
Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please. Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Sir, please leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please. Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone. Sir, please leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please. Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone. Sir, please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Amen. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes. First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting.
Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast. He is stalking me. It's not just stalking, though. He's human trafficking. He's sex trafficking. And he has to be sold. And he's told anybody and everybody who would listen, I intend to starve her and to intentionally and maliciously inflict bodily injury and discomfort and pain until she lies for me to cover up my crime. And his crime has never been this uncovered in his life. We don't even know his stated goals because when he contacts me, we get more information on his criminal activity than has ever been gotten before in his life. When he invades my privacy, we get more information on his crime than has ever been gotten in his life. The longer I'm broke, we get more information on his crime than has ever been gotten in his life. The longer Manford police officer Michael Neely is in jail, we get more information on his crime than has ever been gotten in his life. Stalking victims have been murdered. Many are murdered. He tried to kill me with arsenic. We caught it. I reported to Tulsa police to get a protective order. If somebody's threatening death and false arrest, you need a protective order. I filed a police report. Within a week, I'm arrested for filing a false police report in retaliation for him doing his job as a senator. Mr. Perry has Huntington's disease. He suffers from, because of the Huntington's disease, it does cause, the same as cancer causes a tumor and death, especially if untreated. It causes psychosis, delusion, paranoia, and the inability to reason cognitively. You can't do the thing that we all do. If you mess with her, you get caught. If you touch a hot stove, you get burned. If you don't like getting caught and you don't like getting burned, don't touch the hot stove, don't mess with her. Duh. For us, we're like, that's kindergarten. He can't do it. Can't do it in his head. He's taking things that he should not see at all or know anything about the wrong way. The man makes my skin crawl. He's an absolute disgust to me. I feel nothing but deep disgust for Mr. Perry. It is the 30th of December 2022, about to be 2023. I had left Lubbock in 2013 to get away from Mr. Perry. He is all about the drama and he will ruin your life because he thinks he can. But this is the first time he's been caught. The charges against me were filed in Texas. I did not live in Texas. I lived in Oklahoma. I was in compliance with the law in Oklahoma, and they knew that. I had previously tried to get a protective order, forgot my police report, and was denied in part for that reason. You were in non-compliance with the requirement of the law in Oklahoma that you must bring me a police report into my courtroom. I gave the judge a case number. He said that's not good enough. I have to have the actual report. So, for that reason, number 2, you're denied. You're denied a protective order. Subsequently, Mr. Perry starts trying to kill me. Thank you, Judge Irick. Very appreciated. I guess Marler versus Clower. Oklahoma Supreme Court said you got to bring the police report to court. They knew that. They absolutely knew that. So this was after that. I had 2 cops come into my work in August 2015 and tell me, Mr. Perry's looking for a way to false arrest you. He said, just find something. We said, no, that's not why we signed up to be police. So we came in here to warn you. Watch everything you do, because he'll find a bitch that'll do it. Some poor schmuck that'll do it. Kiss the ass of a sex weirdo. So what I'd like you to do is just be very careful and watch everything you do. I subsequently wrote a letter to the U.S. Attorney. That is right here. And they got it on August 27th. That conversation stimulated this letter. Some cops do not want to be your bitch. There's the police report. It's dated the 21st. I'm arrested. Mr. Pell is obsessed with finding my address. No, it's been duly noted for the record that Mr. Perry and Mr. Robertson are trying to make sure I don't have one. Mr. Perry is carrying out the threat to try to starve me until I lie. Even he knows he is so fucking repulsive that he thinks the only thing that will make me like him is I have to eat out of a dumpster. Please take her car every fucking day. Calls to Oklahoma. Please take her car away today. Please get her car away today. Apparently he's told my car guy, we're going to take the car tonight. Be ready to come get it. Then you can sell it to somebody else and get double. Those conversations have been recorded. Mr. Perry's in a lot of trouble and he doesn't seem to get that. So the letter to the U.S. Attorney is here. And this was the date of the receipt. He's using law enforcement to try to hurt me. So they tell me. And subsequently, when he calls in up here, wanting an officer to pull me over, he has had some pushback. One said, is that the chick that's losing her butt, trying to help a cop? Michael Neely, who did try to do something, and Chief Miller. They did try to do something. Chief Miller was murdered. Unfortunately, cops are killed a lot in domestic violence issues. And had Tulsa police done something here with my false arrest, that wouldn't have been. 44% increase in murdered victims of domestic violence, DVI says, since 2020 in the state of Oklahoma. Whose fault is that? Dead women. We don't want to be on the first 48. You know what else? We don't want to live in a shelter. We don't want you to put us in a shelter. We want you to put the bad guy in jail. That's your job. Tulsa. I'm getting help from police from somewhere else. They've looked everywhere, high and low. Guess what? Cops can look at the picture of Michael Neely and his case, or talk to our guys or whatever. It's a need to know. You're not in the need to know, and I don't have to explain a fucking thing to y'all. When y'all are arrested and it's all in court, then everybody will explain everything to you then. My guy said to you, she's not to be peeped on anymore. Mr. Perry is a voyeur, a hacker, a stalker. He's exploiting women and children, and it's global. That's a very big problem, and unfortunately that's caused delays in his arrest. I'm sick of this. Everybody's sick of this. I mean, everybody fucking hates you guys, all of you that help him. We get names of you. Our guys got names of your people because you got me kicked out of my home. Twice in 6 months. Trying to starve me into that lie. David Robertson has been a criminal in Oklahoma for a long time. He owns Dynamic Shot. He is very threatened by me. No one's caught his crime this much either. All he had to do is leave me alone. I don't know the guy. I came up here to get away from Mr. Perry. I left Lubbock in 2013 to get away from Mr. Perry. Moved to Dallas. He starts fucking with me in Dallas. I come to Oklahoma, where my family is. He comes up here and he has blown lives up. Blown them up. He is very hated. You don't have the right to go to a state where you don't live. Nobody invited you. And you're blowing up lives of citizens. Terrorizing us. Using tax dollars to do it. Oklahoma and Texas. You need to account for every penny you've spent every time you're in the state of Oklahoma and where the money came from, sir. Account for it. Account for your time. You're an elected official, or you were. Act like one. Act classy. Act with dignity. Where's Jacqueline, your wife, when you fuck with me? Where's your kids, Jordan and Matthew? What betrayal are you heaping upon them? Every time you bother me and sit around on your fat, lazy ass, perverting around, invading my privacy in a most vulgar, obscene way, against my will, fantasizing like some stupid little fuck who doesn't have a life. Pathetic. What do you tell them when you do that? That's your family. You betray your family. I can't think of anything. It's very disgusting. You've done a lot of disgusting things while I've been in Oklahoma, but I left. I came to Oklahoma, David, not to have a fight. You start the fight. Every time you cause an injury, you're picking a fight. You're picking a fight with something bigger. You have no idea. You're global. You and Charles. Matt Powell is obsessed with getting Cynthia's address. He has been since she got here. Calls us and bothers and bothers. Can we not get her whereabouts? Do we not have her address yet? I need an address for her. Well, we can't. We pinged her phone, and I can give you a zip code, and that's it. I have a protective address. After the Rebecca Schaeffer thing, laws were passed all over the country that in a lot of states where we can apply to get an address confidentiality thing where our mail goes to the Oklahoma Attorney General, and nobody's to give our address out. Nobody. Not to anybody. Because it could get us killed. It could get us killed. We don't want to go to a shelter, officer. We want you to do your job and end the suffering caused by the crime and put the fucker in jail. Period. This thing might have gone along faster had Oklahoma done their job. It's a big disappointment because here's the thing. I come from 4 generations of cops. I have a very, very high respect and a high standard for cops. I expect a lot because my granddad was a police chief in Roswell. And I grew up in police. I fucking cut my teeth on his badge. My great-great-granddad was a Texas Marshal, a judge, and a chicken farmer in Rochester, Texas. My great-granddad was a captain of detectives, Roswell Police Department in Roswell, New Mexico. My granddad was the chief of police, Roswell Police Department in Roswell, New Mexico. My daddy was a lawman too. His title was, I think he did forgery, actually, for the Chavez County Sheriff's Department. Cops. All over my house all the time. I went to Grandma's house. Judge McLemore helped me tie my shoe when I was 5 years old. Judges, cops, all over my place, all over, as I grew up. From the minute I'm born. That's my family. Cop is cop family. It's thick. So can you imagine the audacity of Mr. Perry to call around cops? Are you the ones helping her? Are you the ones stopping my crime? I'm a sex weirdo and I can't control myself. And my little dick runs my life and it's gotten people killed. My addiction to it. I can't control myself. I need you to cover it up. I'll make it worth your while. Can you imagine? I need you to tell me if you're the ones helping her. And they'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. And you don't know which ones are lying and which ones are telling the truth. But they can look at Mike's case, same as we, and say you can't beat a guy to death in a drunken brawl while you're knocked out on an opioid overdose, because these guys have a pattern. It's poisoning. Slip something in the drink. It's twice. Here's the thing. When you do it twice, we see the pattern. We're looking for a pattern. Because repeat offenders have a pattern. You did it to me, and then you did it to Mike. I'm arrested. Just like the guys told me that made me send that letter. And then we got something else. This is called the McNamara email. Sent in October. He's going to false arrest me and try to entice me and bully me and try to isolate me. Cut me off from all my family and friends. Because he's pathetic. And even he thinks that the only thing that makes him look attractive is if I'm eating out of a dumpster. Please take her car away. Then she'll leave Oklahoma. David and Charles whine and whine that same thing every fucking day. David's threatened by my crime. David, all you had to do is leave me the fuck alone. I don't know you. You and your bitches. I knew some mafia guys in Vegas. If you're watching Tulsa King, they start picking on a woman. Look what happens. Look what happens. The mafia doesn't pick on women and kids. So if you're Oklahoma Mafia, you're getting caught because you're doing it wrong. Can't even do the mafia thing right. It doesn't get any more pathetic than that. So I'm in Oklahoma. I live in Oklahoma. By law, you gotta file a police report. See, denied because I didn't do it. What's it say? You gotta file a police report against the stalker. They knew this. They didn't tell the judge. So I file it on the 21st. See, we're about out. And they filed charges against me in Texas. I don't live in Texas. And there's no political vendetta. Mr. Perry, I had no use for him. He's not worth it. He's not worth a shit. He's the new guy. He just got elected. I was in politics all my life. Not only was my granddad the police chief, but then he went on to be a county treasurer, and he was elected to the city council. When he's a member of the city council in 1995, if you Google the UFO museums and the alien mystery, blah, blah, he's done an affidavit. He's been quoted on National Geographic and Discovery Channel and all these shows that talk about that, the incident, the UFO thing. The thing is, the town of Roswell was running out of money. He knew that that mystery brought intrigue. Let's set up some museums. They did. They brought a lot of money into the town. Still does. People come from all over the world to look at that. He was very smart. Okay, so I grew up in the home of an elected official. My family was the power in the town where I grew up. My family was the power in the town where I grew up, just like that. Mr. Perry's a little nobody. I lived in Lubbock for 3 years before he pops out and decides to run for office, right? Did you pop out, or did we kind of cultivate that too? Because police can get to you a whole lot easier if they're undercover. Instead of going into your office and pretending they need their taxes done, when you're out shaking hands and kissing babies, you've talked to them twice. The main one that you want to call you back. Twice. And you didn't know that's who you were talking to. Yeah, they can get right to you, pretend they're a voter, or they're going to give you money. So they have me false arrested, just like that says. I don't get a call back from TPD until the 15th. I'm already in Lubbock jail for complying with the law in the state where I live. People in Lubbock were outraged about this, expected them to make it right with me. Couldn't believe they did that he did that to me. They were very disturbed and uncomfortable with it, and fully expected you to make it right. And were appalled when you didn't. That did more for us than you will ever know. That you didn't make it right. That you did it in the first place. But then that you didn't make it right. Because we're getting information from inside your criminal activity that you had all your life than has ever come out in your life. The more you try to dig and cover that up, here, I'll throw dirt on it and cover it up. The deeper your hole gets. You act like you have no fucking idea what I just said. Yeah, when you got Huntington's disease. But here TPD could have done, I didn't get a blood test to rule out or confirm arsenic. Judge Hansen should have said, I have to have two things to meet probable cause to sign this arrest warrant. One is, when was the evidence properly collected? When was it properly inspected? And where's the police disposition? Where's her blood test? When were these texts and this video reviewed? Because, see, they weren't. She's asking for it. I need to see it, she says. That's the first I'd had. First call I'd had from TPD. I walked in, filed a police report with the desk clerk. Desk clerk tells me it's going to go into the computer, assign a detective, and they'll call you for an interview. I'd had no interview yet. So it couldn't have been determined false or true. And at that point, Hansen should have said, no, you got to let them investigate. This crime occurred in Tulsa. She reported in Tulsa. That's where she lives. She doesn't live here. She left. So let's let that, you're jumping the gun here. Also, where's the evidence that it's over your job as a politician? See, when you got Huntington's disease and you're mentally ill, you may not be able to identify your legislative duties. It isn't stalking. Stalking, hacking, voyeurism, sex trafficking, sex exploitation is not what you need to do to pass a law in Texas, Mr. Perry. And you knew that. You're impaired, but you're not completely impaired. Sometimes you just lie. So the charges were dismissed, but they come to me and ask me to lie. They just need you to lie and let them save face. And I said, fuck you. You tell them I said fuck you to my attorney. One thing, I'll just stay quiet and won't say anything at all, but there's one condition. Mr. Perry must not contact me ever again. I'm willing to stay quiet and not defend myself when the media comes at me because they're coming at me. It's already in the newspaper. All the inmates showed me. My mugshot. Thanks for that. Now my kid has to explain it to his friends at school. Dear God. Who puts a kid through that? You don't give a fuck about anybody but you. Your little dick problem is such an obsession for you, and you have so little control over it. You blow lives up and think nothing of it. But guess what everybody else does? Everyone else fucking hates you right now for what you're putting us all through. Everybody fucking hates you, David, Calvin, Lucius, for what you're putting us through. Hates your guts. We can get information and you can't. My guy will not call you back. What he said is, I don't talk to stupid. I have no time. He's wasting my time. If you can't understand what I'm saying. In July 2022, what I said is, she's not to be peeped on anymore. Do not invade her privacy anymore. Do not contact her again or anybody she knows. And she's not to be broke anymore. She's working with us. I know she can do any job. So there's no excuse for her to be broke. Get out of her wallet, leave her alone. Comply with the law and show some respect for the law and her. Period. And when you failed to do that, we got Lucius's name out of that. We got Sonjay, your hacker's name out of that. We got Geppetto, your witch's name out of that. We got Beverly's name out of that. We got James and Ruben's name out of that. We heard y'all talking about it. You think they're leaks. So what did it serve you to do that to me? How is it serving even you to go at me and go at me and go at me and go at me and go at me? Starve her until she lies. My guy says, well, somebody told him, at this point, what in the fuck is she supposed to lie about? He continues to do exactly what you say, and you say it beforehand, like the McNamara email. We get 1 to 12 of those every day. 1 to 12, at least 12, every fucking day. Mr. Perry's sitting around in his little meeting, planning a crime against me. So what we do with that, we establish criminal intent and malicious aforethought to commit a crime against me and cause a loss or an injury. We intend to cause her loss or injury, to force her against her will to do something she doesn't want to do, or say something she doesn't want to say. So the guy's like, what is she supposed to lie about? He keeps doing exactly what she says. And my guy goes, at no point did she have to lie. Never did she ever have to lie. And a lot of nerve he has to even ask her to lie. Just like this. You got a lot of nerve to ask me to lie. And I told my attorney, tell him I said, fuck you. I lost my home. My mugshot's smeared everywhere. My kid's going to have to explain that. My family's going to have to explain that. I don't think that's funny. Nobody thinks that's cute. No one's going to help you, Mr. Perry. Listen, I've said this over and over, and I don't know how many different ways to say this, but this is why my guy will not call you back, because you don't get it when you say it the first time. I'm not told who your leaks are. I wouldn't help you if I was. I'm not told which information is coming from a leak and which information is coming from like some type of wiretap order or court-ordered surveillance or something. I don't know. I don't care. I want you to fuck off. I want for you to fuck the hell off. That's what this said right here. He's not to contact me. Mr. Perry, Lucky Miller saw these and he said, I've seen bond conditions. That's not what this looks like to me. This looks like to me a cover-up negotiation. I said, if he contacts me, then I'll talk and I'll tell everybody. Because I can anyway. I don't have to agree to this. But if it makes him feel better, and if it makes him get the fuck out of my life, I'll agree just to stay quiet. My attorney says, I can have them put that in the bond conditions. I cannot do anything to impede your First Amendment right to free speech. So you don't have to put anything. You can talk to anybody you want at any time. He's to leave you the fuck alone, either way. So he brings this to me and says, here, sign this. And I look at it and it says you're supposed to see a shrink. And I go, why do I need to see a shrink? And he goes, well, for me, because this traumatized you. So let's just leave it at that. They wanted to find a shrink that would say I'm crazy. My shrink, Dr. Russell, saw me for a year and a half. And you know what she said? This is a stalking escalation. What you'd like to do with stalkers is ignore them. But the problem you have with Mr. Perry, with Charles, is that he'll escalate more than you can ignore. He'll cause a problem and you got to drop everything you're doing and deal with it. And I was like, yeah, like putting me in jail. So, the charges were dismissed, but it took a long time, longer than it should have. My shrink's letter is right here. She just wants to be left alone. After a year and a half of seeing her twice a month. Now, as it turns out, the karma and all this is... So I never got diagnosed or treated with any kind of mental illness, because I'm not mentally ill. My shrinks confirmed that. So, all she wants is to be fucking left alone. It is a felony to stalk. It is a felony to peep. It is a felony to hack. It is a felony to coerce. It is a felony to tamper with a witness. It is a felony to commit perjury. It is a felony to commit attempted murder in the first degree. It is a felony to commit assault and battery and tell somebody, I'm going to starve her and intentionally, maliciously cause physical harm and physical injury, because it's going to take your toll on your body. When you're not living in a home, you're denied food and shelter, deprived of food and shelter, with the intent to make you lie or agree to be trafficked and raped. I'm going to make you, force you, against your will, to go with some fuck you don't know and don't like and get raped every day, but you'll have a really nice house. That's what you're asking me to do, to which I said, fuck you, you're breaking the law. My guy doesn't call you back because you're fucktard, and he said stop it. He's a cop. You're defying a cop's order, sir, and you don't get to do that and get away with it. I don't know who you think you are, but you've been told on more than ever in your lives, all of you, and that's never happened before. Your guy said when he pesters her and takes her money, things don't go well for us. We keep getting caught. Ask Geppetto. Ask Calvin. Ask Sonjay. Right? Ask Lucius. What did it look like before you did this to me? Has any other victim found out they were trafficked beforehand? I did. And you have no fucking idea what that means, do you? All of you. None of you know what the McNamara email means, do you? No fucking idea. No fucking idea. So now he's got Huntington's disease, certified nutty, diagnosed. I'm a nutbag. One of those cops that was asked to pull me over was told he just wants her to apologize and lie for him. He's got a letter of apology he wrote, not her, his words, not hers. And an affidavit. He's trying to force her to sign it. Just pull her over and, see. We got to see if we can force her against her will to say his words, not hers. And he goes, no. She knows about it, right? Yep. She's talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. Everybody knows about it. Yeah, no, not doing it. And he was told, you may not have a choice. He said, oh yeah, I do. I'm a police officer. I absolutely have a choice. And I said, no, I'm a police officer. I have a reputation. I'm not going to sign my name to a nutbag's bad decision. And nutbags, that's all they do is make bad decisions. And you guys do the same thing every day that gets you the same results. It doesn't even serve you. You don't get your cover-up. You don't get your lie. You don't have any idea who's helping me. You've made a whole lot of calls about that. No one will tell you anything. One of the guys said last night to our guys, you're not going to believe this. These bitches killed a cop. We saw Lucky and Mike's case. And you know how else we know they killed the cop? She's sleeping in her car. They're retaliating against her. I saw her testimony. I read it. They're cop killers, calling cops, asking us to help them. And I don't even have words for that. I was like, wow, you got a lot of nerve. You got a lot of nerve. He goes, I was appalled that they had the nerve to even ask. They're calling cops. They're cop killers. We all know that. Calling police officers, asking us to help them. Wow. Wow. What in the fuck? My guy says, Perry's mentally ill. I guess so. That isn't normal. That is something. He said, I wanted to throw my phone across the room. I could not believe they had the nerve to ask us to help them find out who you guys are. They're looking for y'all. And he goes, y'all need to hurry up and arrest him. My guy said, I know we're getting a lot of pressure. It's international. Sometimes there's a hang-up on that. On something we're trying to get. You should be in jail right now, Mr. Perry. Had Tulsa police done their job? They gave my police report right to the offender, which is not what you do. I got this in jail. The guy that you're looking for got that to me in jail. David. That's who you picked a fight with. Somebody that can do that. Calvin, Lucius. You're just picking on one more. He goes, you know how we know they killed Mike? Because Cynthia's sleeping in her car. They're retaliating against her. My guy goes, they're trying to make her lie. They're trying to make her lie. Right now, we're just taking everything they do to her and stacking it up on a pile. And we've told them that, and they're still doing it. When I got home from jail, I said to you, This is something you have done to people all their lives, caused unimaginable pain and loss and grieving and misery. You don't make the world a better place. You're not this ray of sunshine everybody's glad to come see walk in the room. You're the guy, when you walk in the room, everybody goes, oh God, not him again. Brother, I gotta drop everything I'm doing and deal with that. I'm sick of dealing with that. I have other shit to do. Good shit, normal shit. This guy's a whack job. I'm so tired of this. He's soap opera, and he's always threatening, and these are bullies. And I'm sick of it. I'm just fucking sick of it. Everybody says that about you. People like people who make life easy and fun, and make the world a better place to be in, not horrified all the time, and stressed out, and scared, and anxious, and sick at their stomach, and creeped out. And that's what you bring with you, and that's what you are. You're not loved, you're not wanted, you're told on. And no one cares what you think. We're all sick of hearing it. You need to shut up. Everybody's sick of hearing what you think. Constantly, all day long. Is it this guy? Is it China? Is it Medicare? Is it Catherine? Is it your family leaking? Is it Ty? Is it Z? Is it your kids? Is it TPD? Who's leaking? Who's telling on me? Is it Chicago police? Is it Cincinnati? Is it LAPD? Is it New York? Is it Christine in New York? Is it? I'm like, oh my God. What did I just say? What did I just say? I said I don't know, and I wouldn't help you if I did, because when you're gone, I won't be broke again, ever. I'll have my privacy back, my family back. There's no more stress. There's no more sadness. There's no more loss. There's no more worrying about what you're going to take next. You'll be gone. We can't wait till that day comes. Yesterday's not soon enough for me. My guys are under a lot of pressure to hurry the fuck up. Everybody's sick of you. What he said is, you're going to give it back, and you're going to get the fuck out of her life. Or I'll do it for you, and then I'll control that. The same way I control the flow of information. And then we can go in and tell the judge he's already made it right with her. We don't need restitution. We don't know anything. In fact, we'd ask the court for mercy. But you don't want that. It's about to be too fucking late for you. Okay? I don't want your fucking house in Houston. I don't want the pathetic bitch that can't get a date the normal way. I don't want you. I guess you guys were going to share me or something. How gross. You guys need to go find some escorts in Vegas if you got to buy a girl. If you can't figure out how to get women to just like you, go buy a girl in Vegas. Don't beat her down. Don't abuse her. And don't break the law. And don't traffic her. But they have girls that have signed up for this. They want to do it. They're doing it for a living. And I'm not talking about the broke chicks that charge $25 for, whatever. I'm talking about the very high-end escorts. You're going to pay out the nose, and you're going to treat them right. Or you're not going to have shit. I have a friend that did that. She was very, very wealthy. And she said, oh, we get elected officials coming in from all over the country, and you never hear a word about it. You, butt out of my life. Get the fuck out of it. You're caught. You're caught on the trafficking. Never has that happened to you before, and you act like you have no fucking idea what it means that we found out before you did it. They can get something like that to me in jail. Fabian is this person that I'm texting the night what's his name? Robertson came in. Look at the date on that. Dates and times are very significant in this case. I'm saying it, somebody else said it, it's been said. Because we always get the information beforehand, not after. We now have a little meeting. You have not been able to quote one of my guys' meetings. You don't even know one name. And I'm quoting you guys all the time in your little meetings. Take your car away, please. Then she'll like me. I'm so pathetic and repulsive. That's the only way she'll like me. And she won't like me. She'll just have to go with me. Ugh. That's the crazy delusion that is imposed upon me day after day after day after day. Nasty. Gross. And voyeurism is rape. You don't have my consent to use my body for a fucking thing. And I heard you all morning or all afternoon telling somebody who your attorney, I want to talk to her. I just need to talk to her. I just wish I could. No. No means no. You get anywhere near me, I will beat the fuck out of you. I'm not going to wait to see if you have a weapon on you. I'll just take you down. And you'll be even more broccoli brain than you are already. This guy was my manager. My friend sends me a Facebook message when I'm in Dallas. Yeah, are you dating anybody? How's your life going? Blah, blah. Normal questions people ask. Your friends ask. Nope, but I like this guy at work. Fabian. I go into work the next time. He was mad. We didn't have a fight. That happens a lot. My family and I didn't have a fight. Why'd they just suddenly stop talking to me? Except you told them to. And, I showed that the other day on a podcast. Texts were very positive, fine, and nothing wrong at all. So I get to jail and I get this puzzle. Fabian's name intersects with the word hope. These two words, specifically, not just in the same book or on the same page, but intersect like that. Fabian always made me hope. I had just lost somebody that I loved to cancer. And I was devastated. I don't even know how to say it. I was just devastated. I meet Fabian, and I start hoping again. I start perking up. I start doing good. I really like Fabian. I still do. This right here, he won't help you. I understand you guys went and told him we need you to go to Tulsa and connect with her and try to get her back to Texas where we can do more to her. Here's 15 grand. And he said no. Here's 20 grand. No. Here's 25 grand. I said no. And I told you from the beginning, he's not going to help you hurt me. He's the only person on the planet that has never, in 9 years, allowed you to use him to hurt me. Guess what else? We're not stupid. He already knows you're going to use him to hurt me. He knows I know you're going to use him to hurt me. So we both know. How you think you're going to pull something off? It's so easy. It's not fair. You guys are fucktards. So the word boo is a private joke between one of the cop friends that helps me, the one that Perry wants to call him back. And sad is the sadness he causes. Boo is the fear. So, and me is, he's just a selfish little buddy and always a wannabe, never wanted. I just wish I mattered. And I don't. And you're wasting my time. Just like he was wasting hers. Right? And you don't kill with a gun, maybe? You kill with poison, don't you? That's your M.O. Justice Scalia dies suddenly while they're planning the next false arrest. In West Texas, where Justice Scalia was, I was, and Mr. Perry was. We're going to send her home, harass the hell out of her. When she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us. We'll put it before the Supreme Court. Now none of the girls can complain. That'll shut them all up forever. But he wouldn't go along with it, right? And then when he dies, everything's all fishy. William O. Ritchie, homicide cop from D.C., retired, says protocol wasn't followed when Justice Scalia died in investigating and the process and all that, as it would have been had he died in D.C. What did they do? What did they do? So, the intent, the criminal intent Mr. Perry had to perpetrate a fraud upon the highest court in the land, as he's done in many lower courts. And he thinks, I won in court, I won in court. No, I wasn't in court. The burden of proof is on me. I sued you 3 times, trying to get a protective order. 11 times I've asked for a protective order or injunctive order. He buys his way out. He has a hearing, and I'm not there. Burden of proof is on me. What's the harm in letting her in court to show evidence she doesn't have? 5 seasoned attorneys can't handle one bitch with no law degree, not a lick of law school. You exclude me from participating in my own lawsuits. So there's never been anything normal or legal or fair. Never. You played Candyland against you and beat you. You have to have an opponent to have won. So you didn't win shit. You bought your way out and everybody knows it. That you're not respected, you're not liked, you're told on, sir, because of the things you've done to me. It's different when you do it to me, but it's the same every time you do it. I got Calvin's name and he's bald and fat. I got Sanjay's name and I know he's your hacker. I got Geppetto's name and I know he's a witch. That you try to make him cast spells on me to make me change my mind, and he gets frustrated that it doesn't work and asks if I have sage. Sage supposedly wards off evil spirits. I'm a Christian, and I plead the blood of Jesus over Geppetto every day. Oh shit. It's a spiritual battle, I guess. So when your guy said, what do you think it means when your own guy says, when Charles pesters Cynthia and takes her money, things don't go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. You can't name even one of my guys. You can't quote even one of their meetings. And I quote you guys every day, and I'm naming all kinds of your people. Look at your results. Look at mine. Somebody else is going to have to help Mr. Perry with the special ed teacher understand what I just said, because he won't know. He legit won't know. He has no fucking idea what you're saying to him. It's so embarrassing. So embarrassing. You know you're repulsive when you think the only thing that will make her like me is I'll take her car and she's eating out of a dumpster. Only then will I look like a better choice. Pathetic man that bought me. Go fucking Vegas, get an escort. I think you're nasty. You've ruined my life as much as Perry. And I understand you were kind of getting, created this fantasy in your head and you're kind of getting emotionally attached. Why? Why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? Everybody from their side needs to get a grip on reality. If I'm quoting you every day, what does that mean? When I get this in jail, David, what does that mean? Did I psychically get this to myself in jail? Huh? Charles also is so wacky. He's asked, is it the aliens from Roswell and shapeshifters helping you? Wow. Go into court and say that. I don't even believe there is such a thing on either one. My granddad and I know what really happened in Roswell, and all I'm going to say is, I don't believe in aliens, that they even exist, much less that they landed in Roswell. And that's what we think. Leave the mystery alone. My granddad thought the same thing. And I don't believe shapeshifters exist either. I don't believe either one of those things exist. They're myths. That's just my personal opinion and my personal position. It was my granddad's as well. But you go into court and you tell them that's what you think it is. Okay? And David, go into court and tell everybody how you think it's my psychic powers. What the fuck is that? I don't even read the horoscope. I don't even fucking read a horoscope. I do believe in divine intervention. So at times there's been divine intervention. Might you be misinterpreting divine intervention for psychic powers or whatever, some kind of nutbag, some claim you've come up with that doesn't even make sense to me, or it doesn't make sense to normal thinking people. Reasonable, prudent individual standard applies here, but for legal standard applies here. I assert all constitutional rights. Use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. Keep that. But everybody's starting to laugh that I'd say that. He keeps doing exactly what she says. She says it before, not after. He knows she knows. He'll do it anyway. He's that stupid. Criminals are stupid, or they wouldn't be criminals. They'd find a legit, legal way to make money and to do the things that they want to do. Like, here's the thing, you bitch from Houston with the realtor guy from Sugarland who thinks he bought me. I'm not for sale, bitch. It is illegal to traffic people. You're caught in a crime. Look up conspiracy to commit sex trafficking or coercion or false arrest or whatever it is. Conspiracy to commit anything. That means 2 or more in it. It's not hard. Get an attorney that can read. So, Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513 prohibits what you're doing to me. My guy said fucking comply with the fucking law. You know you're under investigation. You're calling all these police departments looking for me. I'm not going to call you back. I don't have time. I'm busy getting what you just said. What harm you're trying to do to her next. What I said is, you are to comply with the law, period. She's not to be broke again. People are asking questions. Her GPA is 3.9 until Perry fucks it up and it's still 3.6. For 3 years, I was on the dean's list. For 3 years straight. Mr. Perry jams up my computer and I can't get homework turned in. It's not that it's wrong. I couldn't get it in at all. So now it's at 3.64. Still fucking high. And guess what else? It's rare that I crack a textbook. I'd like to have time to read and learn. But since when you're homeless, it's hard. When somebody threatens to make you homeless and then carries out that threat specifically, we get detailed, specific information, Mr. Perry. It's not vague. Here's exactly what he's going to do. It's a criminal act. He said he knows that. He said he wants to cause a harm or a loss intentionally, maliciously, to coerce. I can't get a date the normal way. Women don't like me. So I'm going to have to coerce and violate RICO Act. Yeah, your attorney fucking should have... I was sued once in Lubbock. I was involved in a real estate business, which I would go and get a contract signed on foreclosure homes. And then we would sell those contracts to rehabs, guys who did the flip. They would flip the house. And the gentleman that I was partnered with would tell me, okay, well, we'll take at closing. There's going to be a certain amount. Say you paid $10,000 for the home. You sold it for 15, and your expenses are $1,000, and that leaves $4,000. So we split that 50-50. I get 2, you get 2. So the first one I'm expecting, for example, 2, and it's only $1,000, and I'm like, what? Why the hell is it $1,000 short? Oh, well, we had expenses. Okay, great. I need the list of those expenses and the receipts. I'm a partner in this with you. I need to see those expenses. Wouldn't give them to me. I started talking to some other people working with him. He's doing that to all of us. So because I'm talking to other people that we're doing the same thing. He sues me for slander. I countersue for fraud. At the end of that, I'm not allowed to disclose the details of the settlement, but there was a settlement, and I was very, very pleased with the results. Very pleased. I mean, I came out way ahead on that. My attorney, though, sat me down, and here's what you can do, and here's what you can't do. You're not lying. This is about slander. You've not slandered him. He's taking your money. You don't get to do that. By the way, other investors all of a sudden got paid. One of my friends calls me and he goes, I went over and I saw this Mike Klein stub. And he says, I've sued Cynthia, yeah? Because you didn't pay her. You didn't pay me either. You did the same thing to me that you did to her. And he goes, would you like me to write you a check? And he goes, I would. Write me a check for the whole thing. Here's what you owe me. So he did. He said he kind of tried to hem-haw around and tried to kind of get out of it. Well, and he goes, listen, you screwed her over, and then you're suing her. You need to pay her. You screwed me over. You're gonna pay me, or I'll join her lawsuit. We'll do a fucking class action against you. There's like 20 of us pissed off at you for doing that. Okay, wrote the check. That shut him up. So my attorney says he did screw you over with money. He's refusing to give you the list of expenses and receipts to prove those expenses. You can say that. That's not slander. That's true. But he's got some sort of big, huge presentation that he's doing down at this hotel. He's afraid you're going to picket it. Don't do that. And I started laughing. I was like, it didn't even occur to me to do that. That's not really my thing, picketing. And he goes, yeah, he thinks you're going to do a protest. The guy's whack job. I don't have the fucking time for that. It didn't even occur to me to do that. And he goes, he's got it listed specifically here. He doesn't want you to do that. And I'm like, fine. Who the fuck does shit like that? Yeah, well, okay, just as long as you don't do that. But he sat me down, and here's what you can do according to the law. Here's what you can't do according to the law. And your attorney clearly hasn't done that for you. Or he's a conspirator to commit sex trafficking and voyeurism and sex exploitation and stalking, hacking, peeping. Right? And entrapment. Let's harass the hell of her. And then when she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us. So we're going to provoke and poke and provoke and poke. And Kirkendall said, I want you to leave her alone because I got to rule that out. Because I'm looking at these emails that go way back, 2017, 2018, saying that's what you're going to do. It was all over the jail. Everybody in jail, while I was there, talked about it. Then Justice Scalia dies, oddly. And he's a First Amendment guy. He said flag burning is free speech. He's very liberal on the free speech, I guess. And you didn't like that. You thought Ginsburg would be gone. She's older. She'll just probably die off before we put this before that court. You got caught. Oh shit, now what? You always get caught when you do this shit to me. And it's been that way every day for 9 years, and you act like you don't know. And people are laughing at you. And you got cops appalled. Can you believe? He's like, listen to this. You're not going to believe this. And my guy goes, well, we know they're looking for us. I'm not calling him. I don't have time. I'm trying to keep Cindy alive. I'm trying to wrap this up. She shouldn't have to live like this anymore. So I don't have time to waste talking to a fucktard doesn't understand me. I don't have any patience for that. And he's wasting my time. And he goes, well, guess what? He's wasted ours too. They killed a cop, and we all know that. We know that because we looked at Mike's case. We know that because she's sleeping in her car and they're retaliating. If they didn't kill her, if they didn't kill Mike, she wouldn't be sleeping in her car. So it's like punishment, retaliation. So the second thing is that they're cop killers calling cops asking for help. And we're like, you gotta be shitting us with this. He said, I put my phone down after I talked to Mom. Did I really just have that conversation? You gotta be shitting me with that. They killed a cop. They're asking cops for help. Finding out who found out he was drugged before there was first responders deposed, and that his attorney was going to change the story to something that didn't even, this is bullshit, and screw him over before he actually did it. They're wanting us, I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss. They got a lot of nerve calling cops. They're cop killers. And they're wanting to know, they're wanting our help. Wow. I'd like to kick that guy's teeth in, he said. I'd like to fucking kick his teeth in for that. And so you had the one, I'm not pulling her over. Well, you may not have a choice. Oh my God, I do. I'm a cop. And I do not put my name on a whack job's bad decision. Just like that. I just don't do it. And so I didn't get pulled over that day. Because that's the kind of cop I like. I like a cop like that thinks like that. What a breath of fresh air. And he has balls. I like both of those things about that guy. And I got it. When she blows by here, I'm going to the bathroom. Guess what? He couldn't know when I was going to blow by there, but you're hacking. Sanjay. So we can get names and you can't. We are quoting your meetings and you're not quoting ours. In 10 years. It's 10 years of that. So, David, psychically, I've got this to me. In jail. Just psychically. I have superpowers. That's good to know. I didn't know I had superpowers. This is when I got home. All those girls, get rid of your phone, he's going to tweet from your phone. So I immediately had it disconnected and had a new phone. My son, we all had dinner, our whole family had dinner. My cousin and his wife had some friends over. They went in the back, probably 500 feet from the house. And they're in there, they're on their shop, chatting and drinking with their buddies. Dennis goes, I'm kind of hungry, let's go get a snack in Manford. So we drive to Manford. We're driving through town, everything's mostly closed. And I think we had about given up, and maybe we were about to head to Sand Springs, I think. He goes, I'm in the left-hand lane. Jiffy Trip is on the right side of me. And he goes, let's go ahead and go in here. So I'm almost past it, really. And so I take a right-hand turn from the left, and I'm thinking, it's fine, there's just this one car. Well, that one car was a cop. Maybe even Mike Neely, I don't even remember. So I'm actually pulled over for doing that. And he was really nice. I didn't get a ticket or anything. He just told me, what were you thinking? I explained it to him. He's like, all right, well, don't do that. Like, don't fucking do that. So, but I'm going to let you go this time. All right, so I get home, and after that, we're in town. We're in Manford getting pulled over. The rest of my family's 500 feet away in a different building on the property. And I pick up my phone. It's being charged so that I can send it to my attorney. So he can have his computer guys look at my phone. Well, because I'm going to trial. In my mind, I said to my attorney, let's go to trial. Oh, they don't want a trial. There's too much collateral damage. I go, I want to go to trial. I didn't commit a crime. Let's go. They put me in jail for 2 months. Let's fucking go to trial. I said, listen, I'm going to tell you this one time. Don't make me repeat myself. I didn't commit a crime. I was acting in compliance with the law where I live, and they knew that. There is no evidence of a political vendetta, because there wasn't one. Mr. Perry's a nobody. I've been in politics all my life. I didn't do state government reform. I did federal. He's a little fucking nothing. I already had relationships built that would be people I would go to if I needed something. When we contacted Perry, it was just out of courtesy. He's the new guy. He didn't know anybody. He didn't have any rapport. What do I need him for? He needed me. So, fuck that. Retaliate for what? I'm a Republican. You get him out of that place. The guy that takes his place is going to be exactly like him, minus the stalking and the criminal activity. You get Steve Massengill in there, he's the same. They're both pro-life, pro-protection of marriage, pro-gun. I mean, they're the same. Lubbock is 86% Republican. You can't flip that to a Democrat. So the vote's going to be the same vote up in the Senate in Austin. You don't need to waste your time and money on that. So he's full of crap. He's a delusional whack job. I don't have any reason to attack him politically. I've got all kinds of texts and emails to my friends and family, just a few, don't even live in Texas, that he's stalking me. Well, that's not part of his legislative duties. He can't identify legislative duties or what state he legislates in. He's a fucktard. What I don't even know what to say to this. So neither criteria was met when that fucking judge signed off on that arrest warrant. I want to go to trial now. That was my response. They're shitting themselves. Oh, God. Well, let's make her see the shrink, and maybe we can say she's crazy. For a year and a half, shrink doesn't say that. Your shrink said you're crazy. You got Huntington's disease. You're the crazy one. Karma's a bitch. That's part of your karma. You invade my privacy. My guys invade yours, only they have a court order, and you don't. It's called God isn't mocked. You reap what you sow. You already are in some ways. Huntington's disease, and your privacy's invaded. And so I get home and sure shit they're trying to text from my phone, not realizing it's disconnected. Oh, God. Yeah, that was something. That was something, wasn't it? I try to pay. I get a call from my son's attorney. I got your payment. And I'm like, I'm broke. I don't have any money. But I got his invoice on the same day as I got the one from the counselor. And it's in the same amount that what was supposed to be paid to the counselor. See, if I had asked Mr. Perry for help, I would have said, I wouldn't have even mentioned Mr. Kaufman. I would have said, I need you to help me pay my son's counselor. It's $375 or I can't talk to him. This invoice came the same day in an email Mr. Perry saw. He paid the wrong guy. The amount to the counselor is paid to the fucking guardian ad litem. See, $375 right there. See that? He saw it from hacking. Took it upon himself to pay the wrong fucker. This guy's invoice was in dispute. We were fighting over it. And this guy, I wanted to talk to my son, telling me, you got to pay me $375 or $350, same amount of money. Had I asked for Mr. Perry for help, there wouldn't have been any mention of this one at all. None. Wouldn't have said his name, nothing. Much less, here's the address and here's the amount. Yeah, he saw it from email. He was reading my emails. I have 200 plus emails and texts I've never seen. He intercepts them. If that's not sick, I don't know. I mean, golly. I'm looking forward to your arrest so I can see them. Right now, they're evidence for court. How did you know Mike Neely had to be drugged? How'd you know he had to be coaxed to Pensacola? Yeah, because he didn't want to go. And I don't want to go to Texas, and you just tried to do this coaxing thing. Hansel and Gretel is what you call it with your code words. Papa John's, Hansel and Gretel, Ratatouille, Rumpelstiltskin. You gotta, when you're trying to get somebody to a place where you can hurt them and commit a crime against them, and you think that it's gonna be okay and nobody will suspect a thing, you call that Hansel and Gretel. We'll run Hansel and Gretel on her tonight. Get her to South Tulsa where we'll have her pulled over. Get her to Sapulpa where we'll have somebody order DoorDash so she's back in South Tulsa, or she's over in. How do you know I'm not in South Tulsa now? Only a stalker would know where I am right now. Yeah, I mean, you guys, it's so easy, it's not fair. And the more you do the crime to me, the more you get caught. So, I'm in danger. They've tried to kill me more than once. This is what those other cops have seen. Point out for me the marks on this guy that looks like he was in a fight. Point out the injuries in the arrest report that looks like he was in a fight. See, if you're going to beat somebody to death so hard their head comes off their body and they die of internal decapitation, you're going to look like, you're going to have marks on you, and Mike has nothing. Found in respiratory distress and dying. Knocked out, unconscious, no bump on his head at all. Nothing on his hands that look like he hit anybody, and he's telling the Escambia sheriff, I don't believe you. There's nothing on my hands that look like I was in a fight. Well, what I'm saying to you is it looks like he appears to have been beaten to death. Sure. Barney Fife. We all get that. But the problem here, sir, is that there's no injuries on Mr. Neely here that look like he did it. That's what your, probable cause is right there. So there's two. We spotted powder the second time, not 10 years later, we still can't figure out the pattern. Wait, what does it mean? She found out again. Oh my God, did she find out again? Oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? 10 years every day. How does she know? How did she find out about that? How does she know? How did she find out? Every day we find out, and you know that. Every fucking day. Here's how this works, princess. We also understand. We've heard people talk. People have known long. Mr. Perry's flaming gay. He fucking hates women, or he wouldn't do her like that. You don't treat women like that if you like them and you're trying to get them to like you back. That's what you treat women like if you're a sadistic piece of shit with mommy issues. Mommy humiliated me. Boo fucking who. Grow a pair and move on. Everybody else does. 0.1% of the population becomes a violent offender and blames mommy. 99.9 does not act like you, complies with the law, doesn't need to buy even one judge or one cop, does not become a violent offender even if they got mommy issues. They handle them right, they can cope, and you can't. You can't. You fail. So, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with being trans. But when it becomes crime causation, now it's something else altogether. BTK was the same. Read Sexual Homicide, TPD. It talks about patterns, about men who kill because they got a sex weirdo problem, they can't control it. How many dead people are there because at the hands of Mr. Perry and Mr. Robertson and Lucius and Calvin, the sex weirdo club corporation? They can't get women to like them and just get a love life the normal way. Go on Our Time or one of those websites that dating things, or go to Vegas, hang out in Vegas. I had so many tourists that wanted to go home with me. I mean, you got tourists, they're there looking to, get a little. It's free. Buy her a drink and go home with her. Don't be mean to her and don't kill her. And they got escorts. You can buy if you got to stoop to buying a woman, they got escorts. They've got fetish clubs. And that's all legal. Sex trafficking comes with a life sentence. Sexual exploitation. Mr. Perry, our witness says, puts cameras in women's homes, broadcasts when they're not home, broadcasts them all over the internet and sells watch time, then begins to tear down their life. He gets them fired. They ask friends and family for help. He makes sure they don't find another job. They start asking friends and family for help, and the friends and family berate. He tells them what to say. Here, say this. To gaslight, berate, tear down their mental strength and their confidence. Then they lose their house. Then he has the ex take the kids away. When I was in Lubbock, I got behind on my payments, and I was going to get kicked out of my home. And my friend Daryl, who also had rentals and had a lot of money, called my landlord and said, "Don't kick her out. I'll pay everything." He refused payment. Now, if you got a rental, the rent being paid is your bread and butter. He refused that. Who the fuck does that? Unless Mr. Perry's paying him more to kick me out, because that's what he does. Begins tearing down women's lives because they're a lot easier to traffic. And the latest is take her car, get her in a shelter, take her computer and her driver's license, and then she can't finish schoolwork because she doesn't have her computer. There's no more school money. She won't be able to find a job. She doesn't have her driver's license, and now we can traffic her. Finally, and please understand, everybody, that's duly noted for the record, about 4 times now in your criminal case. The judge has already heard it, and it stimulated an order, an investigatory order, maybe a wiretap on someone or something. I'm not told all that, but I know he said we got the order signed. He couldn't sign it fast enough. The judge is getting very angry at these men. They're caught, and they know that, right? Yes. He goes, he has said that over and over and over on different things that have come up, and they know they're caught, and they'll table it for a bit and then try again later. And then they talk about it again. Are we in an Alzheimer's unit in a nursing home, he said, or my courtroom? She told him she already knows, right? Okay, well, why are we talking about it again? Because they're stupid. They're fucktards. Mr. Perry's certified nutbag. Diagnosed and everything. Can't think past tying his shoe. Diagnosed, can't think past tying his shoe. Nuttier than a fruitcake. Zero cognitive reasoning. I don't know what David's problem is. I don't know what Lucius's problem is. I don't know what Calvin's problem is. I don't know what Houston Realtor guys' problem is. They're all whack jobs. Because normal people don't do what you do. Normal people can't stand you because you do it. In a civilized society, you don't do this crap. We don't put up with it. So, when you get caught, you have caused such people to get so disturbed and uncomfortable with what you're trying to do to me that they talk. We got names. We can get what you just said, what you're just trying to do. We got cops calling our guys. They're calling cops. Cop killers are calling cops wanting our help. And everybody's going, you're shitting us with that, right? We're like, we don't know what you're talking about. So which ones are lying and which ones are telling the truth? They're appalled. They got a lot of nerve. They're cop killers. We all know that. We weren't born yesterday. We can read. We can look at a picture of a cop and go, he wasn't in shit. I investigate crimes. I've seen a fight. This is not what that was. He was drugged, and I said it before anybody else said it. Didn't I? Right there. March. He was drugged. He didn't do it. You got the wrong guy. Oh, sure as shit. Months later, they deposed first responders. He was drugged. We gave him Narcan for opioid overdose. He wasn't treated for a concussion or a bump on his head, and that's why he's knocked out. He's treated for being knocked out because he was overdosed. He's a cop. Okay, I come from 4 generations. That's my family. I don't know the guy. I don't need to. I found it disturbing that you've done this to him. So imagine how disturbed other police officers are that you would call and ask, is it you? Are you stopping my crime? I'll make it worth your while if you'll cover it up. And tell me, who is helping her? Is it you, Chicago PD? Is it you, LAPD? Is it you, NYPD? Is it your friend Christine from New York? How do you even know Christine? How do you know I have a friend named Christine? You shouldn't. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so TPD, you let that happen. You know, we're upset with you for that. Because you had an easy obstruction, perjury, destruction of my evidence, all that. And you just fucking didn't do shit about it. And now we got 44% increase in murder victims and domestic violence. And not only that, domestic violence is a very dangerous thing for other police to go to, those kind of calls. And they're repeated. These guys Nicole called LAPD constantly. Because OJ was beating the shit out of her constantly. These guys can't stop. They're repeat offenders. And you know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Mr. Perry, you're fucking creepy. When you contact me, we get more. Because I fucking hate it. Been that way for years. This right here is one of those. When you cause me a loss of any kind, or any kind of problem, or any kind of drama, something simple becomes some big ordeal, and it's some big thing, and it gets all messed up, and you hack me, and you jam up my stuff, and you cause me relationship problems, or you cause drama, we get more. Because I hate it, and everybody else does too. When something is a criminal act, that means people don't like it when you do that. They made it illegal. And when you do things people don't like, they're not going to like you. And this is daycare. We learned it in daycare. And here I am having to say it again, and y'all act like it just doesn't click for you. It goes right over your head. Because you do this stuff to me, we get more. The longer he's in jail, the longer I'm in my car sleeping, the longer you're a threat to my car, the longer you're bothering me, and I'm broke, the more we get. It's been that way for 10 years. And nobody has as much as we have. Ask Geppetto, ask Lucius. Any other victim have their names? Quote them in a meeting? And everybody has to go, how did she find out? One of your people made a phone call, I guess to somebody, and the guy's like, well, does he have Huntington's disease? Yeah, he does. And it's making him wacky? Yeah, he's wacky. But here's the thing, she wasn't supposed to find out about that. And yet I did. Because when he contacts me, I fucking hate it. When you invade my privacy, I fucking hate it. It's nasty. It's vulgar. You don't have my consent. When you try to traffic me, I fucking hate it. And I said no. Stop expecting me to change my mind. That pisses me off. Stop pressuring me. That pisses me off even more. When you take my money, the longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail. You cost me a relationship. You cause me any problem at all. You jam up my computer. You do anything like that at all. We get more. And it's been that way every day for a decade. What day is he finally going to be done and you're done? You're gone. You're arrested. And we don't have to deal with this anymore. Our guys control the flow of information. Always have. From the McNamara email to today, they always control the flow of information. And it's never up to y'all. And so when he said, she doesn't have to lie, don't even ask her to lie. You comply with the law, sir. I'm a police officer. I'm not calling you back. I'm telling you through her. I told her to tell you, you comply with the law, you fuck off, and you leave her alone. Show some respect. Give back what you took and get the hell out of her life. Right now. Then, and if you don't, I'll do it for you. And I'll control that then too. If you want to give it back to her now, then I can go to the judge and say he's already made amends. We don't seek any kind of restitution or anything. He's taken care of that all. And in fact, we ask for mercy. But I don't have to do any of that. And it's about to be too fucking late for you. And for everybody else, you better get an attorney and discuss the ramifications of conspiracy to commit XYZ crime. And you ought to know that. A lot of you should fucking know that. Also, when you're a cop killer and you're calling a cop, they can sure like this thing is better than I can, probably a lot of them. My son was hit. You can tell he was in a fight. Nobody died in that fight. He was only hit 3 times. He's got bruises on him. Mike doesn't have a fucking thing. A red swollen right hand is red and swollen because he's got an IV needle in it. But if he beat somebody back and forth so hard his head came off his body and the man died, Chief Miller died of internal decapitation, you're going to see a whole lot more than a red swollen with an IV in it. The first responder said we don't put an IV in an injured hand. We put it in the other hand. Yeah, read it. We've all read it. We know he's a cop killer because Cynthia's sleeping in a car. They're retaliating against that girl. Y'all need to hurry up and put him in jail so she can get back in a hotel or a home and get furniture and crap. And if anybody deserves that, it's her. And they don't have the right to take that from her. So we know they're cop killers and they have the nerve and the audacity to call us cops and ask for help. And we're like, you're shitting us with that. What in the hell? Who the fuck are these guys? Who do they think they are? So we just said, yeah, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. And you don't know who's lying and who's telling the truth when you're told that. Yeah, you're kind of a threat to national security, maybe, if you think about it. And I'm not going to get into that. But if there's some country that, doesn't think human rights violations cute, like 90, all of the rest of society, then maybe they're not tolerating what you're doing. Maybe they're just not willing to tolerate what you're doing. Nor is the U.S. It is illegal to do what you're doing. It's seriously sick and disgusting to normal people. So you're being told right now, stop it, cease and desist. When you don't, are you getting results that serve you, even you? Are you? I mean, you do this, you complain and complain and complain, but you do the same thing that gets you told on, and we get more. And it's been that way forever. And it's just piling up and piling up. And here's your shovel, dig away. And you do, every time.